on part one of our three-part webinar series, where we'll be going over a good general overview of the OpenSolar Toolkit. After today's session, we'll have a Q&A session, so please make sure to enter those questions in the chat section of Webinar Jam. I also want to remind you of our other weekly webinars. On Wednesday, we have our Advanced Studio Design webinar, where we deep dive the Studio page and all of our design features. And on Thursday, we have our Control Center webinar. This is a great session for your admins as we'll go over all the customization features of the backend. Now, let me introduce OpenSolar, who we are and why we're here. We're mission driven. We started OpenSolar to make a great software available to installers for free to meet our mission of accelerating the adoption of solar. OpenSolar is an end-to-end toolkit designed by the founders of Remote Solar Design who have done tens of thousands of systems and covers all your business needs, from customer management, design, sale, and project management. Now, let's get our number one question out of the way that I know all of you are thinking. How are we free? We offer our software toolkit free of charge to you, and it will be free forever. We get paid by hardware manufacturers and service providers who provide additional value to you on the app. I can explain this in a moment when I get into OpenSolar, but it's a real win-win for both our users and our partners. Now, let's go ahead and dive into OpenSolar. OpenSolar is broken up into 4 different zones. You have the project zone that houses all your project information and CRM functionality. The studio zone, that's where you're going to be designing your systems, picking your hardware, setting your pricing and payment options. My Energy, that's what we're looking at right now. This is your beautiful customer-facing proposal. And the control zone, that's going to be admins only. That's where you get everything set up in the backend. And once you get it set up, you can go from lead to proposal in a matter of minutes, helping you win more business. As you can see, here we are on our beautiful My Energy proposal. Everything updates in real time for your customer as you or them select between different system options, all the figures and system hardware update. Same thing with payment options. Customers can even accept the proposal. And one of our new exciting features is we just integrated with Sunlight Financial. So they can even run their credit right out of the My Energy proposal just by hitting apply now, stating to the homeowner, and they're going to be taken right to their application, making it so their decision to go solar and go solar with Sunlight Financial through OpenSolar is as easy as ever. They pay cash. They can also accept a proposal. You can include your terms and conditions or contract. They can click that they read accept terms and conditions and even sign with their finger or the mouse. We also integrate with a company called Stripe for taking credit card payments. We also integrate with Calendly and other major scheduling tools so they can book a meeting to talk about their My Energy proposal. All your business development reps information is going to be here as well, including a picture, one-click call or text for them. We also integrate with OLARC, which offers a live chat feature if that's something you want. Moving down the left-hand side, you have your featured figures. Again, these are completely customizable. Images of your home with that solar system on it. Down here, you can see you have your system hardware. I do want to point out, as I spoke about before, some of our exhibiting partners, LG, Stable Solar. When I switch to the battery, you can see Q-Cells are also some of our exhibiting partners, where you, the homeowner, or you, the pro, get enhanced material, videos, images, spec sheets right here, and that for you and your customers' fingertips, where you can see Enphase is not, so you get a little more basic information. I will point out all these different content blocks we go through on the left-hand side are completely customizable. You can choose whether to show them or not, which order you'd like them in. We also offer up to 3 completely customizable content blocks. So you can really edit your My Energy proposal to tell the solar story the way you want to, again, to help you win more business. And you can have as many different proposal templates as you'd like. So you have a short one, long one, environmentally friendly focused one, financially focused one. So really fitting the flavor of your customer. Moving down, you can see system performance, generation versus consumption. Again, as you select between different system options, everything's updating in real time, so they can really compare what the 2 different system options do, in this case, with or without a battery. Environmental benefits, graphs on how your system works to help explain how solar works. Their electricity bill savings, both monthly and cumulative. And then net financial impacts. and the quotation. As you can see, again, as I update between these different payment options, everything's updating in real time. You can have a business video, testimonial. We are web-based. We offer both tablet and phone apps as well. So this one-click call or email definitely works great on the phone. I've had pros tell me that all the time. You can also add any filters. So I have a short list here, but obviously once you start getting all your customers in, you're going to have a huge list because of all the business you're going to be generating. You can add filters based on different stages or fields completed in the project as well. Let's go ahead and create a new project. To do that, you see this plus new project in the upper right-hand corner. We're going to go ahead and enter our address. Select from the drop-down. You can select whether it's residential or commercial. First name, last name, email address, or phone number. You can also assign it to an existing contact you have in your database if it's a second system as well. Turn on add more details. You can then give it a tag. These tags are completely customizable, fit your business processes. We're just giving you some examples in here so you can use these tags however you'd like. You can add a priority, assign a team member, add any project-specific notes. In the control zone too, we offer two different roles. So you can either be an admin or non-admin. As I mentioned before, non-admins can't see the control zone. You can also pull it back so non-admins can only see projects that they are the assigned team member on. You can also go ahead and enter electricity usage. We offer low, medium, or high estimates. You can also enter daily, monthly, quarterly, annual, or even hourly interval data, both in kilowatt hours and bill amounts. Just go ahead and click a medium estimate for this example. You can then add a weekday and weekend curves, scale weekend to weekday usage, upload hourly demand data if you have it, and up to 3 control loads. If we hit create and design, we'll be taken right to our studio so we can begin designing our system. We're going to go ahead and hit create and view so we can look at the project page. As you can see, here's our project page. You have your address, contact information. You can also add a secondary contact if you'd like. Picture of the home. Once you design the system, it'll also show that here. Over on this right-hand side, we have some CRM functionality. We have different stages and actions throughout. All the actions are completely customizable, again, to fit your business processes, so you dictate what they are, what order they're in, and what stage they fall under. Now, I do want to point out, once you get your My Energy proposal where you want it, or your system's design, this button will light up in green, and that's what you click to actually send the proposal to the customer. You can even write a custom welcome message, like, "It was great to meet your dog," or "Hope the kids are well." You can also add any planned activities. Project history will track completed activities, completed actions. You'll also get notified when your customer views their My Energy proposal, which will also be tracked here, as well as you can get an email for that, so you know to follow up, a timely follow-up with them to see if they have any questions. Sales and service information, site details. Natron Resources is also another one of our partners. They can deliver fully PE stamped plan sets in as little as 3 days right out of OpenSolar. Again, you would set up a relationship with them, and then you can apply for your plan sets right out of OpenSolar. Scrolling down, electricity usage. You saw we entered estimates before when we were creating the project. If you start with estimates, then get actual, you can go ahead and update that here. We also integrate with Utility API if that's a service you're interested in as well. So you can pull that usage data right in from them. Electricity utility. This will be that current tariff that they're using. OpenSolar will estimate based on location the most commonly used tariff, but you do want to double check, especially in some of those regions where they have a lot of options to choose from. So you can set that current tariff. If you're proposing that they switch tariffs after going solar, you can also update that under the proposed rate. Down here under the proposal section, when we were on My Energy, I spoke about how you could have multiple different proposal templates. You can also have various contracts you'd like to put in, costing lists, setback and design, setting templates as well. You'll have a default setup, but again, you can have as many of these as you'd like, and to change from the default, you do that under the proposal section. Summary of the different systems you've designed under here, installation and compliance information after that. And finally, on the project page, this is a file section. You can also upload any project-specific files here as well. You can also upload them and tag them to the sales proposal, and then they will be included in the My Energy too. We also allow in the control zone for you to set up document templates with placeholders which will pull in information from your project so you can generate some documents as well. Let's go ahead and move to our studio and begin designing. So you can see, here's our home. I'm just going to left click and hold, and you can see this white box. Whatever's in that white box, that will be the image that is transposed over to your My Energy proposal. So you do want to make sure either at the beginning or the end you do have that squared up where you'd like it. Sometimes, especially if you're working on a bigger project, it's easier to do it at the end. You can zoom in and out using your mouse or the plus minus button on the bottom right hand corner. Adding new panels is as easy as hitting this plus panel group at the top. You can see then I get my panel, and I'm just left clicking, dragging. I'm holding it, and you can see I can move that row around. And then when I release, I'll then get my array grid. It's as easy as left clicking to add or subtract panels. Make a nice square there. Over on this left-hand side, while the array is selected, you can hit this move horizontal button. You'll then get this yellow bubble, and I'm going to left click, and then you can move that whole array around. You can also fine tune your azimuth and slope, either manually entering it or using the arrows. Same thing with the slope. You can also enter in shading estimates for this array group, either an annual, monthly, or seasonal. Adding a second panel group, it's as easy as hitting this plus panel button again at the top, and then just left clicking and dragging. To delete a whole panel group, when it's selected, just go over and hit this delete button. It'll ask you if you sure you want to do that, and you say yes, I do. I'm going to take that move horizontal and add 2 more panels, because as you can see at the top, under this tab, you're going to get your system size, you'll get your offset, and any battery you have it attached to. So I'll go ahead and design that up to 105%. Now, in the control zone, your admin is going to set up your list of active modules with the default. So you can see I have this LG 365 as my default, but if I wanted to change that from my default to one of my other active modules, I'll just open up that panel tab, clicks on the left-hand side, click select, and then I'll have my list of active modules. All I have to do is just click select, and it would update to that QCell 335. You can also enter shading on a total system basis as well for that estimate. Go ahead and add an inverter, plus inverter. Same thing, I have Enphase set up as my default, but if I wanted to change that, I could just hit select. I can also go ahead and add a battery now as well. You can add other components. We have a wide database of other components. You can also set up other custom components or adders that might be things that you would add to projects that way too. Under pricing, you can set up your various pricing schemes in the control zone. We offer price per watt by system size, markup percentage. As I pointed out a little bit on the project, you can set up your costing lists and associate costs with all material, and then the system will just take a markup percentage on that for you. I'll just use my price per watt by pricing scheme here. You can add any pricing adders, either fixed, per panel, per watt as well. You'll then get a pricing breakdown, or a cost breakdown, excuse me. This will obviously only be as good as the cost you enter into My Energy, or into the control zone, excuse me. You also get your pricing and then gross margin dollars as well. Under incentives, you can also set up incentives to be auto-applied. I have the federal ITC auto-applied, but you can also, if you want to change that, you can also click this override default incentives and select from your list of active incentives as well. You can also add any one-off projects, specific ones, either claimed by you, the installer, or claimed by the customer, right out of the studio too. You can also set up multiple payment options in the control zone. We offer cash, loan, lease, PPA, regular payment. You can set up as many of these as you'd like. You'll have some that are auto-applied. Right now, I have a cash and a 20-year loan auto-applied. But if I want to override that from my full list, again, I'll hit this override default payment options. You can then see I can select cash, credit. Maybe I want to give them one of these Sunlight solar loans. Again, I pointed out on My Energy, we're really excited about having Sunlight integration in here. It's our #1 ask for financing provider, and your customers can now apply for that loan right out of My Energy. I will also point out for you admins listening, you also don't actually need to set up these loan options in the control zone. Once you get that link to your Orange portal, they'll automatically refresh and be updated in real time. So you don't actually need to set those up. So I'll go ahead and turn on that Sunlight Solar loan as well. I'm going to go ahead and give this system a name by clicking this edit button. Battery. Now, let's create a second system. I'm going to go ahead and set this add system button. Duplicate, that'll give us a carbon copy of what we've already created. New system will give us a blank slate. So I'll go ahead and hit this duplicate system. Give it a new name. Maybe I'll do this one solar only. Hit save. I will go ahead and just delete the battery. And you can see in a matter of just over 5 minutes, even walking through this webinar, we've already created a 2-system proposal and we're ready to show the customer right back where we started. Oh, I do want to point out these different mapping angles. We're available. You do have some oblique images available. You can see the top, north, east. So maybe I want to show them this top-down view. Maybe I want to show them an east-facing view. So if I click this east-facing view, all I'm going to need to do here is align the map underneath the system we've designed. To do that, I have east clicked, and then I'm going to click this align button in the bottom right-hand corner, and then I'm just going to left-click and drag the map underneath to get that aligned up. Now, I can choose to show this image to the customer by when the map is selected, excuse me, just turning on the show customer. You'll then get that blue banner, and now when I left-click, I'll get that white box to line it up. We also work with other different mapping companies other than Google. Google is the default. We work with Bing, OpenStreet. We also integrate with Nearmap. They are a paid-for service, but they offer high-definition photos a lot of our pros love to use. If you're interested in learning more about Nearmap, I'll show you a great Help Center article here at the end as well. But that's definitely something worth looking into if you want some more high-definition imagery or if Google Maps is just not great in your area. So you can see, again, matter of moments, we're right back at My Energy. Now I want to show you something that we're all incredibly excited about, and that's OpenSolar 3D. Now to do that, you always want to turn this on before you begin designing your systems. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete the systems we've built, or delete the system in array. So we get back to that blank slate. Now to turn OpenSolar 3D on, all you're going to do is scroll down on the left-hand side and slide on this Activate OpenSolar 3D button and slide that on. Now, what this is doing is this is taking your surface level data from the mapping company and automatically building you a 3D model. It's really going to help you with design because it's automatically going to estimate slope, azimuth, and sun access. OpenSolar 3D also moves from PVWatts version 6, which are 2D modeling software uses, to System Advisor Model, or SAM, which is NREL's newest, latest, and greatest production modeling software. So it's really going to help you design these systems. As you can see here, our 3D model has been built. I'm just going to zoom out just a smidge. And then I'm just going to right click and pull around so you can see it's pulled up the home, the cars, the trees. Now, we're laying panels the same way we did before, just plus panel button up at the top. But as I hover over the home, you can see the panel automatically sticks to the house. And that's estimating that slope for you. Same thing as laying panels before. We're just going to left click and drag. Go ahead and click our fill rectangle button to give us that purple rectangle. While this is selected, once it's done calculating, you know it's calculating by getting those dashed lines across the tab at the top. When we open shading, which when we looked at that before, that's where you would enter those estimates. This is what we call ray tracing. So what we're doing is we're taking by month and time of days and calculating the sun's rays and any obstructions and giving you that sun access. So if I tilt over here to the left, you can see as I click through the different days, you can see the sun's rays move. We're also taking 9 different points on each panel. So this isn't just one point. We're really getting the effect of shade on the panel on 9 different areas. So this is a pretty optimal site for solar, but you can see November at 7 a.m., that neighbor's tree is going to be blocking this solar system, so it's not going to get up and running until about 8 o'clock. So while this doesn't transpose over to My Energy Proposal, we do have some pros that do like to walk their customers through this in a screen share, especially when if they have that favorite tree in the front yard to show them the effects of that. So once you've finished designing in OpenSolar 3D, you then need to go to your 2D images and select which ones you'd like to show. So we'll go back to that top down, and that one's going to be aligned up great. We'll go back to our east-facing view. That one's going to look great too. Sometimes, again, like we pointed out before, you will just need to align that map underneath the solar system you've designed when you're designing in 3D. We're now going to move to the control zone. Do a little high level there. Again, I'll take this moment to point out part 3 of our webinar series is a control zone only focus. So we really hit every section of this. So I definitely recommend watching that, especially if you're an admin, to help you get set up. So this is your control zone. Again, admins only. Under company, you get that business information, name, phone number, email address. I do want to point out we offer one primary color highlight that you can set up, and that way on My Energy, all the buttons show that way to really help you brand My Energy into your proposal. Your logo, about your company. You can also add your team members by just hitting plus create. Again, you can set them up as an admin or not. Business processes, that's where you set up those actions or tags we looked at on the project page. Under settings, I will point out email settings. This is where you can update a custom welcome message and subject. Project access control, that's also where you can pull back when non-admins can only see projects that they are the assigned team member on. Pricing and payments, this is where you can set up your different system pricing schemes. Again, you can see we have some fixed pricing if you just sell cookie cutter systems, price per watt, markup percentage. Payment options, this is where you can set up all your various payment options. You can see I have Sunlight integration, which again, very excited about. Sorry to be so excited, but it's just a great feature that we're offering, where you can refresh the Sunlight products right here by clicking this button. It'll automatically update all of the products you've set up in your Orange portal. Again, you can set up as many different payment options you'd like as well, whether it's a credit union or another financing provider, local or national. You can set those up as well. And as I said, PPA, lease, loan, cash, any terms you'd like. You can see when I go into the cash, you can set deposit amount, minimum, maximum. You can also add any payment option specific terms and conditions. If you have your contract uploaded, that'll show up first, and then any payment option terms and conditions would be after that as well. Design and hardware. Modules, inverters, batteries, other components all kind of have the same flavor and flow. So I'll just show you quickly how to add a module. This will be your list of active or favorites. To add a new one to that, just hit this plus create button. You can go ahead and type in model codes are always best, but if you don't have that, you can just type in manufacturer, and you get a list back. So say I want to add this Trina 320. I'll click that. All the specs will be listed there. You can add your cost of goods per unit, any price adjustment you want to charge your customer, and set whether it's a default or not, and then just click save. I will point out we do have a wide database of modules, inverters, batteries, other components. If for some reason we don't have the equipment you're using, feel free to send a spec sheet over to support@opensolar.com, and we can go ahead and get that in there for you. Purchase experience, this is where you can set up those various proposal templates. Just hit plus create in the upper right hand corner again. I'll just edit one I have, open proposal settings. This is where you can check and uncheck those different content blocks and move them up and down using the arrows. If you're doing this, I definitely recommend having this tab open on one screen and potentially, a My Energy proposal open on the other, so you can see what you're changing, in real time. Again, you can have as many of these as you'd like. Finally, I'll look at the checkout experience. By enabling this, you can also integrate with Stripe or tell your customer how to pay you offline as well, and hit save. Finally, our goal here is to make OpenSolar as intuitive as possible. We understand questions come up. We have the support button on the bottom right-hand corner. Clicking this, visit our help center, the big button on the top. Clicking that, we've created a great help center to help new users, a training package, especially for the new users, remote selling package, to help our pros during the pandemic, as well as each section of OpenSolar has their own help center area. As I mentioned before, if you're interested in near maps, we also have a near map on OpenSolar Help Center area 2. Finally, as I always tell my pros, the most powerful tool here is this search bar up top. Just enter a term in that search bar, and it'll bring back all those relevant articles for you. So if you're ever just getting stuck on one thing, just use the search bar. That way you don't have to go finding the area in the help center. By clicking that support button, you can also register for our other webinar series. Again, we offer them every week. Even if you can't attend, you'll still get a recording after, so I definitely recommend at least signing up and getting that recording so you can watch it at your own pace. You can also submit a ticket here by the middle button, running into issues. And finally, once you've attended the webinars, gotten set up, you still have some questions, we can schedule a one-off 30-minute call where we can go through those final areas and fine-tune your instance and get you up and running. That's all I wanted to get through today. I hope this has been helpful. As I said, we're going to move into our Q&A session here in a minute. But from all of us at OpenSolar, we're incredibly excited to have you on the platform and see what OpenSolar can do to help you win more business and grow your company. So with that, we'll go ahead and move into the Q&A session of this webinar series. One of my colleagues will be answering those questions, so please make sure to enter those questions into the chat section of Webinar Jam. Again, thanks for joining me today. I hope this has been helpful.